Good afternoon, everybody. I don't know where to start. First of all, we want to wish a mazel tov to Gedalia Engel and to Reb Stern on last night, around 11 o'clock, having a granddaughter. Zaycha legadol leben Torah lechuppah l'maisim tovim v'yetz Hashem b'dechasana. Also, it's a big simcha in the shul that we welcome back Baruch Ian. It's good to have you back. It's about time, I'm telling you. These snowbirds, I'm telling you. You were already showing not a snowbird anymore. You were a pelican bird. But anyway, it's good to have you back. Rabbi Friedman, it's good to have you back from Miami. I have the delightful news that Mrs. Blumenfeld is home, Baruch Hashem, but that doesn't mean that she's out of the woods. It just means that they let her go. So we continue to learn for Rivka Malka Basmatel. Rivka Malka Basmatel, she should have a refuah shalema b'seich sharcha Yisrael. Also want to wish a mazel tov to Michal Abram, who got secular married, the first step today, right? I married them off. He's now an American married man, which means nothing, but, means nothing, but he's an American married man. It was interesting that Gedalia was mechubed with an aide, and my wife was also an aide, so you see how much that means. But anyway, it's interesting that for many, many years, Rav Ruvain would not allow his Talmidim to marry off people who decided not to get married al pi the din of the Malchusa. He wouldn't allow the Talmidim to do that. But he said now that they recognize same-sex marriages and all kinds of marriages, so you see that what they doesn't mean anything. So then, and now he allows it. Now he allows it. It used to be that he didn't allow it. Okay, that's the chit-chat.
There's one more announcement.
Yeah.
Yoel Salmon.
Yes, do you know the name?
Yoel Ben Frumet.
Yes, so Yoel Ben Frumet is in the hospital, Yoel Samet, with an undetermined yet what's going on. So Yoel Ben Frumet, you should have a refuah shalema b'seich sharcha Yisrael.
What's the name? Yoel?
Yoel Ben Frumet.
Frumet?
Frumet. Now, so, almost forgot that we're learning Mishnayos. We're recording now because we have tonight, after the daf, we have a chumash here. So, remember we said that if the husband sent a shliach, and then he changed his mind, what am I, crazy? I'm going to divorce her? So he could send a shliach to overtake that shliach, or he could send a shliach to get to the wife first. Now, in the olden days, they allowed another option, to make a bezdin and inform in front of the bezdin that he's mavatal to get. But that leads itself to a lot of problems. Because if he tells it to a bezdin, he's mavatal to get, the shliach gets to the wife won't know that he's mavatal to get, she's going to quickly marry somebody and get pregnant, and then the child will be a mamzer, because she's an Eishes Is. So that's what the Mishnah says. B'Rishayna, initially, a bezdin, b'makam acher, he could make a bezdin somewhere else, or mavatlai, and cancel the get. But Hiskin Rabbi Gamliel Azakin Shelo Yoisin K, not to do that, Mipnei Tikkun Olam, for the betterment of the world. Because he'll be Mavatal the get, the word won't get to her that he was Mavatal the get, the Shliach gives her the get, she goes and gets married, and then those children will be Mamzerim. B'Rishayna, initially, Hayamishana Shmoi Ushma Shem Iro v'Shem Ira. initially, he would only write on the get the name that he's known and she's known in the town where the get is given, and the name of the city and the name of her city, of the place where the get is given. But she was known as Sally, so they wrote Sally on the get. And he was known as Hilu, so they wrote Hilu on it, Hilu and Sally. People saw the get and said, "Oh, that's not them," that's not them, because everybody knows that she's Shalamis, and everybody knows that he's Heshi, right? So they'll say that the get is not a good get. The get wasn't for them. And then when she goes ahead and remarries, they'll say that the children from the second husband are mamzerim. People will say that the get is not a good get. So therefore, you have to write down Hilu, Hamakuna, Herschel, Hamakuna, Herman, Hamakuna, Tzvi, and by her, Isha Plaina, Sally, B'kol Shem Sheyeshla, and Shalamis, and Shelley, Mipnei Tikkun Olam. Now here's more takanas. Ein almana nifras menichse yesayimim. A widow can't get payment from the orphans for her ksuva, ela b'shvua. She has to take an oath that she didn't get even partial payment of the ksuva before. Nimnu melashpia, however, they refrained from putting her to an oath because they were afraid that a woman maybe got paid already, a chunk of it, but she says in her mind, yeah, but I'm taking care of the orphans all this time, how much that's worth. So she'll lie under oath because she'll say, look, it's a wash. Whatever I got, that doesn't count because I'm giving free babysitting in the last 15 years, But it is a false oath because it wasn't arranged that was instead of it, and she was paid part of the ksuva. So they didn't put her to an oath, and she couldn't collect her ksuva. So here's Rabbi Gamliel Azaken, a neder is much more lenient than a shvua. A shvua carries, a big penalty. And a shvua is, lo yinaka, it won't be cleansed to somebody. So therefore, his skin Rabbi Gamliel Azaken shetei noideres lo yisaimim kol mashi yirtzu. They say to her that if you got paid part of the ksuva, it should be kikarbon alecha. It should be, you should agree, you should say, Korban alai, apples and oranges, if I got paid some of the ksuva, and then v'goyva ksuvasa. So there, even if she was taka lying because she was moira heter, it's only over a neder and not over a shvua. Now, even though we paskin like Rebbe Eliezer that Eidei Masira Karsei, that the get is good, even if it's no signatures, because the main thing is that there are witnesses to the delivery. So really you shouldn't need signatures, but they enacted chos min ala get, that they should sign the get mipnei tikkun olam, because if the husband claims that it never happened, and the two witnesses that witnessed it maybe died, or the two witnesses can't be found, or they're way overseas somewhere, so then if it's signed, you could get people that recognize their signatures to testify. So therefore, they tikkun ha'olam, they have them sign the get. And finally, another big takana, Hillel hiskin pruzbol mipnei tikkun ha'olam. See, the din is that Shvius comes, it's mishamet, it releases all debts. But because of that, especially near Shemitah, no rich person wanted to give a loan, because then he loses money in a year and they don't have to pay. Now, that's no good, because the world can't exist without loans, right? You can't be tinel delis b'fnei halovin. That's the grease that makes that makes things possible. So therefore, I heard that noise. That means Reb Smulowitz is here. Oh, welcome. Good to have you. I didn't see you, but I know that's your. I know that's your dial tone. Okay, so good to have you. You were hidden by the pillar. So it's really nice to have people back. It's nice. We're happy when you go. We're happy when you come back. You have to be happy for people to go. It's part of the spice of life. It's nice to have you back. I mean, to go for such a long time. Yeah, but at least when Baruch goes, he never fully goes. He's on the Zoom every night, so he never fully goes. That's your saving grace. Yeah, that's your saving grace. But Hillel Hiskel Pruzbel Tikkun Olam. So Hillel went ahead and said, we're going to get around the problem, and we really don't want to call it a problem because it's a din Torah. But we're going to get around the Isser by having you write a pruzbel and giving your debt over to Bezdin. So once the get is given over to Bezdin, you're not over lo yigos. You're not allowed to press, but you're not pressing for the debt because you gave it over to Bezdin. Now, the meaning of pruzbel, the Rav says, is pruz means a betterment for buli ubute, for the rich and for the poor. It's a betterment for the poor because they could get loans. It's a betterment for the rich because otherwise they're going to be over the lav of lo sa'ametzes levavcha, right? Not to harden your heart and not to give a loan. So this is the betterment of both. What else did I want to tell you? I saw that as of yet there is no sponsor for Shalosh Udas. There is a sponsor for next week. Herschel is sponsoring it for next week. I think there might be even 2 sponsors for next week. But we don't have a sponsor for this week, so if you want a sponsor, you could let us know. Also, there is no Pirkei Avashir this week. I'm still celebrating my Einikel's Isaac's Bar Mitzvah this Shabbos. It's a Shabbos Bar Mitzvah, so I'll be away for Shabbos. Rav Chananya ben Akash, Amaratza Kadosh Baruch